just switching on OBS to record, and we'll record it. I'm assuming no one else is immediately going to join because Sam has not joined in. Sam said she'd try and make it, but maybe there was a problem. Merb isn't about. Dionysus might make it, but isn't here. So let's continue on. And
Okay.
terms of the summer event, I'm now going to share my screen.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay, excellent.
There we go.
Right. So as you can see, what in terms of the summer event, you kind of orientate to do as many of the quests as you can, but to do that, like you say, the best approach is to stockpile things in advance, or to load the dice a little bit in terms of collecting. When it says you have to do 25 collections of 15 minutes, actually build something that's a low level that everybody can build, like a blacksmith. And for most of the things that will work. There's only then the occasional item in your own age that you may need to collect something or production from your own age or the age below. And that gets you through the 15 minutes, hourly, 4 hourly and 8 hourly collections fairly quickly because you can stack them up beforehand. What is best to do and is to actually look at one of the sites that gives you lists of quests, and Fandom is very good at doing it. It's the Forge of Empires wiki that gives you information on all sorts of things within Forge of Empires, but it always has a list of quests that are available and the order in which quests will be done. So you can do a little bit of planning as to what's going to be coming up, because it gives you the details of what those quests are. And before it's released on there, it's released on the beta server, and we're storing some of that information on the events section on Discord as well. So you can pick up that information on Discord. I'm beginning to populate things about the upcoming event for the fall, and the change of player interaction on Forge of Empires for player versus player leagues that will come up fairly soon as well, which will be orientated towards, again, what age you're in, not and you're playing against players in your own age. So it's going to be a little bit like
You know when that's
personal
turning up?
battlegrounds. I don't know. I haven't seen the dates, KJ, as to when it will turn up. But yeah, it's quite interesting in terms of what it will and won't do. But yeah, it seems that they're going to take away some of the tower system that gives away medals as prizes at the moment, which are, from our point of view, pretty pointless. And with the great buildings, become pointless fairly quickly, and replace it with the sort of prizes you're getting in battlegrounds. So building
Well, that'd be
upgrades
good.
and forge points and diamonds and various other things potentially. So that might be quite entertaining, quite useful. The other thing to do in terms of, and I don't know, Shui, whether you've seen this and used it or come across it, is if it suddenly asks you to increase your population, one of the ways to do it is to actually plant a military building that might need some population, and then delete it, and it will release that population, and it suddenly says you've gained that much population.
Yeah.
Which gets you that fairly quickly. Another element is supplies and coins. And when you need supplies and coins, you can either produce them, or again you can kind of cheat by building. Obviously, I've got lots of supplies and coins, so I've got them in my inventory. But I can build a building which has a cost in supplies and coins but when I delete it, I get some back, which then could count against my quest, and it works proportionally in your own age. So if you've got a reasonable amount and a reasonable stock of supplies and coins, you can actually use that to begin to help you complete the quest quickly.
Slightly slower way of doing it is if you've got Gates of the Sun God or Face of the Ancient, and you shove a load of those in
for happiness. Yeah.
For happiness.
Yeah. So if you need happiness, go. You will have won, and you will be winning in GE. Loads of Face of the Ancients and you end up with enough of them that you really don't know what to do with them. I didn't know there was an upgrade kit for them. They're a useless thing I get rid of with anyway.
No, I didn't know that. When did that turn up?
Oh, I think it's turned up with
recent.
Yeah, it's turned up with the Terrace Farm upgrade kit as well. And the Terrace Farm upgrade kit is excellent. And I haven't come across one yet. One hasn't appeared for me yet. Because that changes what more than doubles what your Terrace Farm's capable of delivering. So
I'll get me one of those.
Because it will give you 12 forge points a day, or it will give you 20 goods every 8 hours, or it increases the amount of coins, supplies, and other medals and other things that it can do as well. It really is quite significant in terms of an upgrade.
Cool. If you're at a much lower level, or you don't have loads of spare Face of the Ancients or something like that, what you can do is a much cheaper version. If you scroll all the way to the right hand side, at least on the app, for decorations, you can pick up something that will only cost you a handful of coins or a couple of supplies to build, and then you can just build it, delete it, build it, delete it, build it, delete it, and it takes longer, obviously, because they're lower value.
Yeah.
But if you're an earlier player, a younger player, then it's a viable way of completing the happiness.
Yeah, memorials are quite cost effective for very low players, and some of the other decorations are reasonably cost effective as well.
I like the obelisk because you can stick it anywhere. It's just a 1x1.
Yeah, memorials, obviously you've got there's more of a space. Funnily enough, I never liked the obelisk. I always went for trees, but they both.
That's me too, and it
they
just
both
stick in a tree.
Yeah, they both achieve exactly the same thing. So yeah, it's.
I think one costs coins and the other one costs supplies. So depending on which one you've got more off is the one you go for, obviously.
Exactly.
I've done a couple of quests on the summer events, so I've got the governor's house and a couple of upgrades for it, but I wanted to see how many upgrades I was going to get before I planted it, and in the meantime I was just going to
the governor's mansion is well worthwhile planting at level 5 and above. So at level 4 it's kind of level 3 and 4 it's kind of okay, probably from your perspective. Level 5 it's definitely an advantage to plant it. You know, if I go back to my city, mine is level 5, and as you can see, it's given me a huge boost in terms of attack power, but it gives you a significant boost in terms of attack power. So it's 21% at level 5 for me. I think it's something like 12 or 13% for you, maybe even more.
Okay.
So it's a significant boost. I think at its maxed out level it's about 22% for you, and it's 33 or 34 for the people in Saab, in Space Age Asteroid Belt.
Yeah. Cool. I think the big attraction for the governor's building at the moment for me is the population that comes with it. So what I'm looking to do next is to start slashing the number of houses that I've got, because they take up a decent chunk of space.
Yeah, that will help. And the other thing that will significantly help you is the happiness that comes with it.
Yeah.
Because it's nigh on 20,000 on mine at the moment. It will be, again, anything else in terms of summer event that we can help with, or any particular quests or things that come up that you're finding difficult, or anything in terms of this wheel, by the way. There is a debate, and about 3/4 of the population on Forge of Empires believe it's random, and 1/4 believe you can actually time it to win what you want, providing you time it correctly. And I kind of belong to the 25% that believes you can time it, because I seem to be able to do it occasionally. So
well, can you show me how?
So I read that it, as soon as you click spin, whether you click stop or not, it automatically decides at that point what you're winning from the wheel. And so if you're waiting for something to appear in your inventory or something like that, then as soon as you've hit spin, if you're going to win it, then it appears in your inventory at that point. So whether you press stop and whether it's still moving or not, you've already been allocated it.
Yeah, and I've read that as well, and I know certain players argue that, but having played it, it seems uncanny that when I stop it at a certain point to try and win the gold circled item, the best item on the wheel, I win it kind of about 50% of the time. When I don't do that, I win it a lot less than 50% of the time. So,
how many circles is your lead in click?
Sorry? It tends to be about halfway round. So okay. If I'm waiting for the gold circle, I will, when the gold circle passes the opposite side from where the arrow is, I click. I click stop, and it appears to give me reward. Now, my argument with that is, I'm kind of playing that game, and I feels like it's giving me a reward. If it's decided when I click spin, then it doesn't matter whether I'm clicking to stop or not. So either way, then it's no harm in trying to click it or trying to gauge it so you get it to land where you want to. But have a go and see if it works for you. But it appears to work for me.
I tend to have a look and see if there's like 3 things. If there's a lot of things that I want on the wheel, then I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll wait until there's some stuff that I want. That cuts out a lot of rubbish.
The other strategy to wait for the wheel is to, as you can see, the ones with the green area, they've got segments missing, so they will go grey at some point, which means it will highlight the other ones that are left. I have played the strategy of waiting for the wheels stripped down to closer to the one I want, and then go for the one I want, because you're obviously increasing the odds of you getting it through either method. So there's 9 things on the wheel. If half of them are moved out, you've got a 1 in 5 chance rather than a 1 in 9 chance. So both kind of help and work. But yeah, I'm not completely convinced by either argument as to whether it's random or whether it's selectable. I agree, you get a percentage of junk and there's some good stuff, but if you can get some of the good stuff, that'd be great. The only thing that's guaranteed good is the governor's villa, and what you're going to get out of the governor's villa, because that's good for everyone. I had a crow's nest from a previous event, and if you can get a full set for a crow's nest, as you can see, it's excellent rewards at my level, but it's still very good rewards at your level. It still gives 12 forge points, potentially 40% chance of 12 forge points in a day.
It's pretty good going.
And and 50 goods at your level, or I think it would be more like 7,000 or 8,000 medals, which medals are still probably have some importance to you, but shortly as your arc goes up, they'll have less importance. But that's 12 forge points bonus, and it gives a base number of forge points, 8 forge points.
Oh, okay.
So it's potentially 20 forge points a day on mine. On your
Apart
level,
from
it's
single
probably
building.
16.
Yeah.
So
I'll take that.
yeah, I mean everybody would take that. It's
Yeah.
literally that.
Cool.
I mean, so probably all I can add to the summer event at the moment. You know, and you got any other questions, Sherry?
No, but I just one thing I'd mention, because I know it's come up a couple of times, just for the newer players, and that's we can talk about circular trades for a second, just to explain for the newer members what that looks like, because I know that Kit has set up a thread for that, and some people aren't sure what it is.
Yeah, the circular events one thread that should set up. I have seen it, and yeah, completely understand it and understand what it's about. Shuey, if you want to explain, so you're kind of explaining from a newer player point of view, that would be great.
Sure, yeah. So some of the quests in the summer event are they require you to trade either by buying or selling or swapping or acquiring, whichever methods, a bunch of goods, and depend on the quest and what age you're in. But generally, instead of trading goods and putting yourself potentially at a disadvantage for the goods that you then have, what you can do is called a circular trade, where you basically swap something and then you swap it straight back. And so both parties that are doing the trade benefit from it. So if you're exchanging, say, if the quest says you need to gain 100 goods through trading, then you put a 50 goods exchange. So for me, in late Middle Ages, I've got a lot of bronze and or brass, I never remember which one it is, and basalt. And so I would put a 50 basalt for 50 bronze, and then immediately straight after a 50 bronze for 50 basalt. So the point of a circular trade is that those 250 goods trades will equal the 100 that I need to complete the quest. So that's ticked off, but it doesn't cost me anything, and it doesn't cost whoever's helping me out to do the same. So the only rule with a circular trade is that you have to take both of them, so that both parties are where they are at the start of it. So it's a zero-sum game.
Yeah. So net zero effect. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
that's it, really.
And I mean that kind of happens in a few things like that, but trading it can work very well, and I'd noted it been.
It really is. Circular trades pretty straightforward.
But that's kind of all. I'm going to stop the recording here. So what we've gone through, I'll edit down and post on the YouTube.